y'all. I think we're live.
Wow.
Hold on a second. Hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? We just trying to get all set
Wonderful.
up. I think we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. That's the goal. Joshua, check YouTube for me. So thank you all for attending. If you're catching this live, hey Sunshine, hey. And if you're catching the replay, hey Sunshine, hey. Either way, you are my sunshine, and I just appreciate all of you. So we're gonna just jump on into this. First, we're gonna have a drawing. That's what we're doing first. Because we just started 33 days of affirmation, and this is the first week. And so the instructions were to watch, like, share, and then comment 33 in order to win a prize. So we're going to start off with that, and then we're going to move into the topic, which is going to be the 5 love languages. And we're not going to be here long because we have special guests that need to get their rest. So I want to give a shout out to the ones that did it the most. I mean, right up until like an hour ago, I saw like, share 33, and that was Aletha, Sharon, and Michelle. I'm like, they are on it. They're sharing, they're liking, and they're putting in the 33. So thank you all for your support. And Joshua, I got to give him a shout out because he's been my tech guy, and he actually wrote out the names for the drawing. So, whoop whoop, thank y'all. Let's see, did I have anything else before the drawing? Nope. Conversations with Celena is sponsored by 4C Coaching and Consulting Company. And we're going to start with the prizes. So, oh, I need a drum roll. Hold on. The first prize is by State Street Studio. It's a bracelet in this very cute bag. And we're going to have the drawing. Come on, Joshua. I'm going to let Joshua do it. Enjoy the journey. That's what y'all are doing with me. We're enjoying this journey together. So let's see. Ugh. All right. Come on, Joshua. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I turned the music straight off. So the very first prize, which is going to be the bracelet, is for Sharon Marie. You can see that? Sharon Marie. All right. The second one is a $15 Starbucks gift card. Woo! Drum roll. Give me a drum roll, Joshua. I can't get it. One hand. Who likes Starbucks? This is just appreciation for your support. Octavia Spikes. Oh, Octavia, you get a $15 Starbucks gift card. Hope you like coffee. Come on. Drum roll, drum roll. So this, oh wait, hold on. Give me the shirt. Y'all, this is live, so you get it how it comes, right? So you get a shirt. That's prize number 3. You're going to get a shirt, my shirt, that says, flawed yet forever fabulous. Isn't that cute? I love it. And it's going to have by Celena down there. All right, so that's the third prize. Come on, Joshua. And that's by Kendra's Creations. Thank you, Kendra. That's going to be Chandra Renee. Hey, hey. My sister. Okay. And the last door prize for your support and appreciation is $100 cash. Who gets that tonight? Woo! All right. Who's the lucky one? It's up to Joshua, y'all. Blame him if he doesn't pull your name. He's smiling. He's stirring. He's nervous. is it, Joshua? Say it. I'm gonna let you say it. Oh, you pulled two. You gotta start all over. Woo. All right. Grab one. Don't pull it out. You got one in your hand. Don't be nervous. Connie Lyons. Woo woo! $100. Look at you, mamita.
Woo!
You're like, woo, woo, woo. All right, y'all. We're going to continue to enjoy this journey together. So let's see.
Thank you, Jesus. God, I thank you. I prayed. I said, I need that.
You said a quick prayer.
Sure
Lord,
did.
in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Joshua. You did great. Somebody mad that you dropped their name back up in the hat.
But I'm glad.
I know you are. Whew. All right. That was fun. I'm glad it's recorded so I can remember who had what because I didn't even write it on the back of the thing. So we're gonna move on into the 5 love languages, and if you're just joining, this is Conversations with Celena, and I just want to touch on this a little bit, and we'll probably come back and have another panel. But I wish I would have known this long time ago so that I could have been a better parent. And I'm not saying that I was a bad parent, but if you're doing things for your mate, your children, even your friends, sometimes we don't know what it is that they want from us because we don't always communicate those things. So this helps us, and since my children are older, I'm starting where I am, and that's what I want you all to do too. So often we beat ourselves up, but just start where you are, whether it's in your marriage, your significant other, your children, or your friends. Start right today and then reach back. This is what I want us to do. Reach back and help someone else so that they can be a better parent. We can point out things to people in a nice way. And so I think that we can just do this together, starting now. That's the whole thing. I said all of that to say we're starting where we are, and we're going to reach back and grab someone else and help them, because children want to feel loved and accepted, and sometimes we do everything except what they need. We're doing what we think that they need, or we're doing what we think that our spouse needs. So that's basically the purpose of this tonight. And I haven't done any motivational moments lately because we've been doing the 33 days of affirmation. So this is all wrapped up into one. We're going to give y'all some motivation tonight. Y'all going to go love on your significant others and your children by the time we're done with you. So, all right, so we're going to jump in, and I'm just going to read the 5 love languages, and then everyone is going to go around and introduce themselves, and probably we were supposed to take a quiz and share with you all our love language and why it's important to us. So the 5 love languages are, in no particular order: gifts, acts of service, physical touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. So those are the ones, and I'm going to start with Shirley. So let us know what your love language is and why it's important to you. And you can share, like, in comparison to your spouse or your children or whatever, just whatever you want to share with us about your love
Okay.
language.
So I took the quiz. I knew my love language before, but I took the quiz and it came up with acts of service. And I know that for me, because I feel like acts of service, it takes some thought on the other person's behalf to think about doing something nice for me, not just buying me a gift or saying something sweet or whatever. And I know me and my husband's are really different. His is words of affirmation and physical touch, which are on the quiz that I took, the lowest two for me. And I think learning that was important a long time ago, because what I've found is you give out like like you love in your love language.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm doing acts of service and thinking that that's good for him or showing him love, what he wanted was words of affirmation and physical touch. So and I'm not noticing that because I'm like, I don't need you to say anything to me. Like, but I didn't need that, but he needed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the same for him because he always says like affirming words and a hug or a rub or like all of that stuff for him is like him showing his love because that's what he needs.
Right.
And that wasn't what I needed at all. And I'm like, you always want to touch me.
Oh.
So learning those love languages um, years ago really helped like just our relationship. And I don't think it, not saying like we, it made us love each other more. It made us know how to show the other person
Mm-hmm.
that how much we love them. So I think it's important, and I think it's important for kids too. And I don't, and it's that simple too, though, is seeing how what they give out, and then realizing that's what they need for you to give them. So that's my little two
That's
cents.
exactly what Dr. Chapman was talking about. Is if you pay attention, you can find out without even taking the quiz what their love language is. Because, like you said, most of the time you're giving what you want to receive. And also, he has written a book that is about the children and their love languages. And he said that the teachers are using it in school because I think that his son wasn't doing very well in school, and all of a sudden in college, he started doing very well. And he said, "Well, tell me what changed." And a teacher had told his son, like, "Well, you don't learn like your sister," because the teacher had, taught the sister previously and then got the son. And just words are so important because even from the teachers, they spend a lot of time with the teachers. And I know I've had teachers tell me negative things about myself. So that I was happy to hear that they were using that in school so that teachers would know how to love on the kids while they were in their presence. So that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was good.
You're
Where
welcome.
Robert at? He's somewhere ready to touch. Now, right now, no, he's asleep.
He's
Woo!
asleep. It's
Yes,
4 in the
Shirley is
morning.
in Greece. So she
Mhm.
got up
Oh wow.
at 3 o'clock this morning to join us, and so we're
Oh,
not going to
that's
be here long.
amazing.
I'm so thankful. That was so sweet of her.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on along to our next guest. Would you introduce yourself before you start? I don't know if Shirley did or not, but I guess that's Shirley. She's in Greece, and your next person is going to be Rosalind, special guest, to tell us her love language.
Hi, ladies.
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
Um, my love language is quality time. Um, I feel like the things that you can't put money on is what's most important to me. Once the money is gone, and once all of that other stuff that most women, I think, um, gravitate toward to make them think that it's a good relationship. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, but I think the more time I spend with that person, when it's just the two of us, or when we're outside of ourselves, when it's outside of just the two of us, whether it be with my friends and family or with his friends and family, you really get to really know what that person is, who that person is, what they like, and vice versa. So
Mm-hmm.
quality time is my love language.
Well, thank you for that. I took the quiz, and I took it a couple times. I thought mine may have been words of affirmation, but I should have known for sure that it was quality time, and it was quality time both times that I took it just in the past week. I wanted to see if the
Yeah.
numbers changed. So number one was quality time, number two was words of affirmation, and then somewhere along the line, gifts and physical touch. But I like me some gifts. Give me some accessories, but it doesn't take the place of that quality time because
Right.
it's just yeah. So I even had Joshua take it a few minutes ago because they actually have the quiz out there for couples, singles, men, teens, children, and military. Because I had told Shirley earlier, because military spouses are always separated due to deployment and different things like that. And so, how do you continue to cultivate that relationship when you're divided? So, I'm interested to see um, what that quiz looks like. I didn't take it, but I will go back and
That's a
take it.
hard
So,
job too. I've never been a military spouse, but that has to be a difficult challenge to, have to pick up and go where your spouse goes. Um, to have to go from a two-parent home to a single-parent home if your spouse's job takes them to a location where the family can't join them. That has to be a very difficult job. And I
It,
commend all military spouses, male or female.
Mhm.
it is tough. It is
Yeah.
tough if just for that reason that, you get in your comfort where it's a two-parent household and, you rocking and rolling together. And then all of a
Hmm.
sudden it's like, no, I'm in this thing by myself right
Yeah.
now. So let me figure out how I'm going to balance doing all of these things
Yeah.
for three children. And it's still only one me.
Hmm.
But you make do.
Yeah.
you figure it out because you don't have a choice, but it ain't
Right.
always, it don't always feel good. But
Right. Right. Because they'll say in a minute, service before self. So you can't think of
oh my
yourself and your family
goodness.
before. I hate when they say service before self. But yeah, my hat's off to you, honey. I couldn't.
you
It
had
has
to,
to
you
take
could.
a
Yeah.
mm,
Look where you would be right now. You'd be sitting in Greece at 3 o'clock in the morning doing live with your girlfriends.
There's
yeah.
some perks to it. Like
Yeah.
it's nice to get to live an adventure.
Yeah.
That's nice. So you take the good with the bad and
Yeah. Yeah.
do what you can and enjoy what you can while you can. So
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy this right
Hmm.
now, but I've had some sucky times, but this one ain't one of them.
That's good. That's good.
That's awesome. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have Shirley with acts of service, Rosalind with quality time, I'm quality time. All right, Miss Connie Lyons, what's your love language, ma'am?
Well, I had two of them. It was acts of service, and then I took it again. Well, no, that was the second time I took it because I took the test some years ago, and it was acts of service, and that fits me because I give acts of service, and the other one was words of affirmation, and I didn't understand that one because I was never really one that you have to tell me any good thing because I was taught that, if you want to hear something good, you're prideful or you're what's the other word they use? Not prideful, you're arrogant. So I didn't think that it would be words of affirmation. But after I took it and I think I was talking to you, I thought about it. I was like, who don't want to feel good or hear that they look good or they smell good or so I took one for single and I think I kind of messed it up because I was answering questions based on I'm not answering that, I'm not dating, so I just pressed something else. I'm not answering that because I don't have nobody. But at the end
How you you
So
can get
I took,
accurate results, and you like, I ain't answering that
well,
one.
so that's when I got the words of affirmation. But when I answered the questions correct, just based on who I am, I got
Acts of service.
acts of service. And so
So
that
we
would be the
balanced
most
out over
accurate.
here. We got two acts of
Yeah,
service and two quality time.
Yeah.
Two.
yeah. I believe that when you have acts of service, it's like don't tell me what you could do, show me what you could do, kind of thing.
Right.
Um, and
Yes.
I think, and Shirley, if you know that's your love language, it's like don't talk. It's like a whole bunch of hot, hot air
Mm-hmm.
coming out of the bag. Show me. And then I'm the same way. I don't want to and I'll just give this, for instance, I had made a commitment to do something yesterday and I wasn't, it was a rough day yesterday. But because I am one with the acts of service, I like to keep my word. And so that means I'm in a moving mode of this is something that I need to do. So it's a service, it's something that I have to render myself to. And so, boy, that's on me until I get that done. So I'm sure you're probably the same way, or you want to
Yes.
receive it the
Yes.
same way. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hence
So I
why
like
I'm
to
up at
render.
4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
Up at 4 in the morning. Y'all are
Yeah.
awesome. Acts of service. Worked it out. 4 o'clock in the morning. So, I just want to say, like, because I pulled this up since we went over the acts of service, and Shirley touched on physical touch for her husband and also the words of affirmation. That's my second one too. Roxanne, what did you say your second one? It was quality time, and
I don't remember.
you don't remember. Okay, so um, just to make sure that we everyone is clear, the audience, the gifts, they have to be thoughtful. So if your love language is going to be gifts, you can't come with a last minute Walmart run type of gift and expect that person to receive it as a thoughtful gift. And like your husband loves fishing, you can go to Academy or go get the tackle shop, bait and tackle shop, and get him something. But you just run and go get a pair of socks. He gonna be looking at you and the pair of socks like, what were you thinking? We heard it's the thought that counts, but people will look at you and be like, what were you thinking? So just make sure that if your children, your spouse, if their love language is going to be gifts, that you put thought into it. Because if you miss a birthday or you
Mm-hmm.
miss a anniversary, that is really hurtful because that's important to them. So the next one is acts of service. And so, a way that you can show acts of service would be cooking or cleaning the house or taking over the bills, anything to take the pressure off. So, if you show your children, your mate, I'm here for you, what do you need me to do for you? That shows that you're giving them the act of service that they need. If you break a commitment, on the other hand, or you're sitting on the couch playing video games while they're trying to do something, that's the opposite, and that's when you're gonna clash. So make sure that if your children's spouse, if their love language is acts of service, that you're getting up and you're doing. People at acts of service, they like you to do. You need to do. Show me the money. So, ain't that right, Mom? Means you be making me do.
Yeah. Shirley, we.
So the next one is physical touch. And I did hear the man say that it's like after all of the abuse started coming out, men kind of stepped back from showing their daughters that physical touch because it made them uncomfortable. You don't ever want anybody to take it the wrong way when you're loving and hugging on your daughter. But he says it's so important because if you don't do it for them, they're going to go and find it somewhere else, especially if
Mm-hmm.
that's their love language. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, we just want to keep that in mind, whether it's boy or girl. It's a way to do everything. So, just don't neglect your children based on what's going on in the world because they're your first responsibility. Um, the opposite of that is neglect and abuse. So, um, when it comes to physical touch, you have to, touch, and if you neglect that, then their tank is empty. They did use that analogy. You need to fill up the tank to make your children um, feel loved, your spouse feel loved. We got to go gas up. We got to go to the gas station. We got to go to the love station. We're going to call it the love language station and get filled up. So the next one is words of affirmation, and that's just basically what we're doing this month, where you tell someone things that's good about them. They look good, they smell good, they did a good job, you're proud of them. The opposite of that is harsh words. That could be very devastating to someone who needs the words of affirmation. So, like, if your child is sensitive and you're trying to punish them and you're yelling at them, I don't know if mine's words of affirmation, but I'm doing better, y'all. I'm working on me. I'm working on me so that I can help them. But it's very hard. Like if it's physical touch and you kind of tell them to go, you punish, go on over there. I don't have time. That's very harsh to them. So if you do the opposite to your child of their love language, that is considered some harsh treatment. And I know, because words of affirmation is my second one, and you talk bad to me, I'm just like, don't do that. I need you to encourage me. And that's why I love y'all. Y'all are so encouraging me. So thank you. That's why I'm still here. And last but not least, my love language, Rosalind's love language, quality time. So we don't even have to be doing anything. Just be here with me.
Right.
3 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the evening. That shows me that you love me. That quality time that you're spending with me. So it says, and you need to be present in the moment. So not just here, but present in the moment. Not checking your phone, present in the moment. So that's important too. So whenever you are spending quality time, it doesn't mean I'm just in the same room with you. I'm actually giving you the attention.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side of that is cancel dates and not listening. So I
Mm.
gave you both sides. Hopefully, I did it clearly um, to what it means and then the opposite of it so that we can just be mindful when we're filling up our loved one's tank. So don't fill it with diesel if they need gasoline. Make sure you're filling their tank with what they need. All right, so
I have a question.
go ahead, Mom.
Um, and I think I heard you right. The dogs was barking, so I had to go see what my
Girl,
dog was
it's
barking.
live. It's live.
All
So
them,
we
all
got to
those
take care of the
dogs
dog.
down the street barking. But I don't know which one would fit when people don't um commit to their word. So which one would that be? I think I heard you say that.
Yeah,
I may have missed it because the dog was, and I had to go run to the door and see what was
okay,
going
so
on.
it says acts of service. So if you don't
Acts of
like
service.
you,
Okay.
yeah, like you committed to what you were gonna do. So if
Okay.
someone did that to you and but they canceled, you have little tolerance for that because your love language is I said I'm gonna do it and I have to show you. It's not words of affirmation telling me I'm showing you by my acts of service. So if someone cancels, breaks their promise, or show laziness, then that's the opposite of it.
Okay. I thought it was something with kindness because I was like, well, that wouldn't be kind. But I was making sure that I was right in how I felt. And I was like, I think Shirley understood where I was coming from. But I wanted to make sure that I
Yeah.
Hmm.
that that was. So that helps me to know why or how to understand other people wired like that, when they're wired with acts of service. Some people would say, well, you just overboard, do something for yourself. Have you ever heard of that, Shirley? Like, you always or um let them people do that. But when you're wired in your love
Yes.
language, you understand what I'm saying? So
Yes, I
I'm
do.
I'm
You're the
I'm
giver.
grateful
You're a
for
giver.
this. Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And I have people that's constantly, they're on me about you do this, you do that, and let them people. But that's my wired. That's how I'm wired. And so now I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm wired up to have acts of service. Back up. Thank you. It was good. This was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think Selena's muted.
Celena, I hope she didn't get knocked. Well, she can't get knocked off because then we would be off.
He's muted.
She's
Oh,
muted. I see her and I saw
oh,
her
okay. I
lips
don't.
moving, but
So Shirley, you deal with a lot of that as well. You have to
yeah.
be.
I've learned though to dial it back a little bit though.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
learning balance now. I am.
because it's because that's your love language. Sometimes you can give love to too many people or to the wrong people.
Mm.
You got to make
And it be
sure
abused.
that exactly. You got to make sure that, since we're using the filling up your tank and fueling your tank, that you're not depleting your own tank by giving
Mm-hmm.
so much and then not
Mm-hmm.
receiving anything in return. So you got to balance that and make sure
Yeah.
that it's not a one sided relationship, whether it's friendships, family. It doesn't matter. It doesn't always have to be somebody you're intimate with or dating. Like
Mm-hmm.
friendships and family members, it's still all the same. So sometimes you can give a little too much and then you're not getting anything in return and it makes you feel like crap. But you got to focus
Mm-hmm.
on those relationships that are not one sided and where you are getting something back and it's filling you up. And then every now and then it's okay to give a little bit to the ones that's not giving you anything in return, because you're
Yeah.
like overflowing and you got a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
That
give.
makes
But
sense.
yeah, but you
Thank you. That's
can't
some good advice.
always. Nope, we hear you.
Oh,
You're back.
all right, good deal. So,
Well, thank you
I
for
don't
that.
know.
You're
I
welcome.
don't know what happened. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's
Whew.
fine, we just kept going.
I know. Thank y'all so much. Y'all. Oh, I need to look this way. I'm looking at this monitor. Thank y'all so much because I was about to jump up and go get my engineer up in there and say, "Come help me." He wanted to leave me and go to the park. I'm gonna need you, and I thought I had to go get him, but I worked it out. I'm learning, y'all. Whew. Okay, so fill me in. Give me a little bit.
Oh, we were talking about the like giving too much and depleting your
Oh,
own
that's right.
tank.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And so, because Connie was saying like they're always telling her that she got to stop or whatever. And we were just saying, one sided relationships that comes in all different forms, friends, family, significant others. So you got to be mindful to not, constantly give to those people and
Mm-hmm.
focus on the relationships that are filling you up in return. And then if you're
Right.
overflowing a little bit,
You got
then
something to
you
share.
you you got a little bit to give. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank y'all for filling me in. I'm sorry about my technical difficulties, but I was trying to go look at the comments because I'm not sure how to see them up there. But Taylor says that she has the book and it's very good. Jalecia commented that it's awesome. Um, Taylor said, Rosalind, time is of the essence. Jalecia said, Rosalind, thank you for pointing that out. Once the money is gone, then what? Taylor, thanks, Connie. You are so acts of service and deserve it.
No.
AJ says, yes, a lot of people don't understand that children have a different mindset than adults, and a lot of kids can't take what we took when we were coming up. Affirmation is very
Right.
important. She said, vote for Joe. And then they said, we can't hear you, Celena. I didn't see that. We can't hear you, Sunshine. Okay, so that's the comments. If y'all look, I'm gonna do like one of the people that I watch. Make sure y'all share. Go ahead on and share this video.
Like, share, and
Yeah,
Like,
subscribe.
like,
share, and
share, and
subscribe.
subscribe. I forgot all about that. Look, I just jumped right in. If you like and you share, you do. But hey, after the door prizes, I think I might have a few more likes and shares. Did I say comments? Did I say?
Comment.
Oh
Nope.
yeah,
And comment.
comments. Yeah. So I think that was probably it. Let me see if I had anything else that I needed to say in regards to this. Dr. Chapman did say things like the ingredients to love is to feel connected, and that one thing is sharing meals with your family. And he said that
Hmm.
he and his family did that, and when the son came home from college, the friends came over and they couldn't believe that they were still having family time. But we're so busy now that we've gotten away from spending that quality time with our families, putting away the
Hmm.
phones, turning off the television, having a meal with your family and a conversation. And that's when you learn what's going on with your children, and you learn what their love language is by listening to them and, of course, watching them.
Too much
Another thing,
technology. We didn't have that growing up.
Right.
Have technology and fast food and drive-throughs and
That's
you know
right.
how when we were little, we were remote control. Get up and turn the
go
TV
turn
or
that
turn.
TV.
Yeah. So I think modern technology has taken away a lot of that stuff that we grew up with, and now we take for granted.
That's true.
Hmm.
Let's see, AJ had a question. She says, how do you balance a full-time job, taking care of a handicapped child, running a
Mm.
business, and trying to go back to school for your master's part-time? Baby girl.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Jesus.
One step at a time.
One step at a
At a
time.
time, yes. But you know what, AJ? You have been doing it. You have been doing this for years. It's not anything new to you, and God has equipped you to do it. You just need to fill that tank up and make sure that the people around you are not draining you, but they're also filling you up. And so we talked about removing ourselves from toxic people. No matter what their title is, if they're toxic to you and your life, then, and it's hard, but you have to remove yourself. So you've already been doing it. You need to give us a class on how to do all of what you just named, because baby girl, you're not new to that one. But thank you so much for the question. All right. So yes, I was saying about the sharing the meals and stuff, and so if they don't feel connected, there's a feeling of abandonment. So it's really
Hmm.
important to feel connected with your mate and your spouse. And I know people might be saying, "Nah, what you up there talking about? You're not married." Well, I don't have to be married. I have relationships.
Yeah.
I have children, and so I'm gonna say that we need to make sure that they feel connected and not abandoned, because I felt
Hmm.
abandonment. That's why this is so important to me, what I'm doing. And so I just, I don't know. I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. And the next one is acceptance. So it's feeling connected. It's acceptance. You may not agree. I gotta move y'all back over here. You may not agree with what they're doing, like say your children or something like that, your spouse. But just let them know I don't agree with it, but I'm here to support you. So to make sure that they're accepted, you may not accept or approve of what they're doing, but you're always going to accept and love them. And then the nurture. If you don't nurture, then they feel abused. And so I know for me, the abuse definitely makes me feel like I wasn't accepted, I was abandoned, I was rejected. And so the nurturing it's just really important for me to try to nurture my relationships. And I'm not perfect, you know, we fail, but nurture our children. And it's just to really reiterate to us, each and every one of us, that the ingredients of love is to fill up our tank, being connected, making them feel accepted, nurturing the relationship. So can y'all see me pumping?
Yeah.
We're pumping in not only to our loved ones, but we're pumping into ourselves. We have to encourage ourselves too. We got to be full in order to give. You can't give from an empty tank. So take care of you. Also, love you. Since you know what your love language is, if it's quality time, go spend some quality time with you. Acts of service, go do something for you. Fill your own tank up first. I'm talking to me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I lost my comments. Let's see. Oh, AJ says lots of prayers. Could I get some insight on my love language perhaps? I test physical touch, words of affirmation, but I see that one of my top ones give is acts of service and gifts along with words. But I'm particular with my physical touch. I understand that.
Mm.
Possibly our love languages could be different for giving rather than receiving at times. Not sure. What do y'all think? Y'all need me to read that one again?
Yeah.
Yes.
I get some insight on my love languages, perhaps. I tested physical touch, words of
Mm-hmm.
affirmation, quality time, gifts, then acts of service. But I see that one of my top ones, which is physical touch, one of my top ones gives is acts of service and gifts along with words. But I'm particular with my physical touch. Possibly our love language could be different for giving rather than receiving at times. Not sure. What do y'all think?
So is the question about the physical touch
Could
part?
be about the physical touch because it seems like she tested number one physical touch, but then there's this particular issue with the physical touch.
Mm.
So maybe it's the type of physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
not maybe it's not necessarily sexual physical
Right.
touch. It might be a hug
Yeah.
or a back rub after a long day that's
Mm-hmm.
not turning into something sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
A kiss on the way out the door or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And I think sometimes if that's your love language, you got to make sure you initiate that sometimes too, or the other person might not know that you even want that. Or you
Mm-hmm.
got to speak
Yeah.
up and let people know what it is that you want.
Right.
Yeah. I think that, let me see. And I was just trying to think about that because you know how our conversation changes from person to person. Also, our
Mm-hmm.
roles when we were different people, they change from person to person because
Mm-hmm.
personalities are different. Some personalities are
Mm-hmm.
stronger, so they may give you different things, and depending on that role, the love language may kind of shift a little bit. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah.
bit. I guess maybe what you accept or expect from that person. I was just trying to think because if she said if it changes, I don't know. I don't know if the love language
Well, I
changed,
think
or
it.
maybe just the relationship with the person or people are different.
Yeah, that was what I was confused with. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
love language changed, but I do believe if you, depending on, like Shirley said, if you're expecting something, then you may have to do something or say something. The words, the affirmation. I mean, the act of the words, right? So I think it changes per the person.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Does
then I
that make
think
sense?
too, yeah, and we all probably test it. Like we have the main one, but then the
Mm-hmm.
second highest one is kind of important too. So it might not, depending on the relationship, it might not be that first one. It might be
Mm-hmm.
that second one that
Mm-hmm.
is the thing that you're expecting from that or that you need from that relationship. It might not be the touch, it might be
Mm-hmm.
whatever the second love language was.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, she says that helps. Okay.
Great.
She says thanks. It's all about the receiving being different than your receiving gifts.
Mm.
Okay. Well, did anybody have any final words that they would like to say? Because we covered all five love languages. We went over ours and maybe our spouse and children. And I think that if someone hadn't heard of the five love languages, this helps, and hopefully it'll help in their current situation. And again, what are we doing? We're going to reach back and we're going to help. We're going to help someone that's a new parent, a young mother, father, say, hey, you know what? You need to find out what it is so you can fill up your child's love tank. Because I just
Mm-hmm.
believe that's so important. We walking around on
Yes.
empty. We running on fumes. Some of us are. So,
Put,
Yeah.
put, 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 put.
Yeah. Yeah.
and when you run on empty, you get all that trash in the tank, and
Oh,
then
Jesus.
it don't
Uh-huh.
even work right anymore. You gotta get a
Uh-huh.
whole overhaul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have any last words, Shirley?
No, just I guess my last words would be is learn your love language and then speak up.
That's good.
You sometimes you gotta let people know how to love you.
Mm.
Because not
That's really
everybody is a
good.
mind reader, and
Amen.
it doesn't mean that you got to tell somebody to love you this much. They could love you like immensely, but
Mm-hmm.
if they don't know how to show it because they don't know what you need, so you got to let them know sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So if
That's
it's
true.
acts of service,
Communication.
say, won't you? Could you? How about you plan us a date night, or you plan us or you mind helping with the laundry, or
Yeah.
could you do this errand for me? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just you and I do something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
words of
That's good.
affirmation. It's as simple as sometimes it makes me feel good when you tell me that I look good, or when you tell me that I'm doing a good job. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think I'm doing a good job? Do you think I look good? Let
Mm-hmm.
me know that sometimes. So I don't know how you tell somebody you like gifts besides saying you like gifts.
Right. And I just want to say that once you initiate it and you tell them, and then they see the results, once they
Yes,
see the results of what comes out of pouring into that act of service, giving you those words of affirmation, they're going to continue to do it because they're like, "Ooh, this brings
absolutely.
out the good. I'm winning right here. All I had to do was take out the trash. I'm winning right here. I just had to tell her, "Ooh, honey, you look so good in that outfit." And once you communicate it, which we don't like to do, and someone
Mm-hmm.
said, Taylor said communication, once we
Yes,
communicate it to them, we may have to tell them again, but it's okay if
Mm-hmm.
you're reaping the benefit, and then if they're reaping it, eventually they're going to learn, hey, if I do this, this is the result that I'm going to get.
That's
I
true.
think we have a question. Let's see. What if a person doesn't know how to embrace those love languages because they are so damaged?
Mm.
Mm.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Um,
I don't know. That used to be me, but
my
I don't
my
even know.
answer would be to heal, seek healing, because
Okay.
we everybody wants something healed or broken.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are damaged, you still are looking for some type of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, seek healing, seek inner healing to
Yes.
be a blessing to someone with your affirmation as a giver. And that
Yeah.
that is a good question, because I know I couldn't receive, oh, you look nice, or you did a great job, for being beat down, but that at the end of the day I wanted that. And so in order to get that, you have to dig deep and get all of that gunk out, all that stuff that'll cause you to put to to give it. So I think the inner you really want it. We all do. I mean, whether it's a gift for the kind words or the acts of service, that's the way we are as humans created.
Well,
So
why
that's
do
the
you think
love.
it was so hard? Why do you think it was so hard to receive those words, even though you knew you wanted
Because the
them,
opposite word,
that you had
the
been told
opposite
for
words
love?
that you've been told before. So if you want to feel
Mm-hmm.
pretty, you've been told you're ugly, you're fat, you're skinny, you're dark. Or if you want a gift, and you giving gifts, but those gifts were rejected. Or if you want to do something nice, you've been told you don't have to do that, but why are you doing that? So the rejection, that's the
The
key word.
rejection.
Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
the rejection. Rejection will
Mm-hmm.
cause you not to participate,
Right.
to give, to
Yeah.
be a part of that love language as a giver.
And
Yeah.
some people are lashing out, like you're saying that you're doing. Why you doing this? Why
Hmm.
you doing that? But they're not doing.
Right.
They want to do because
Mm-hmm.
That's the
but they're
guilt.
not doing. So they're
Hmm.
looking at
Right.
you and you feeling rejected because they're not
Hmm.
receiving the
Right.
act that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
criticizing what you're doing, but they're
Hmm.
not doing. But
Mm-hmm.
internally, they probably want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're beating you down because you're doing.
Right.
Why you doing this? Why you doing that? You ain't have to do this. You didn't have to say that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Then I
Do
think
you
on the
ever
flip
think
side,
you're? Go
go
ahead.
ahead. On the flip side, I think to her question about when somebody's not, she said when somebody was damaged, so they weren't.
Hmm.
I think, what if you're on the opposite end? Not what if she's not meaning you're the damaged person? What if she's saying the other person is damaged, so maybe they're
Damn it.
not um, willing to give in that love
Right.
language, or
Hmm.
and I think on that end, like you can tell somebody, only so many times, but if somebody is
Right.
just that damaged where they're not willing to receive, you can't fix them and you can't hold on to people because they have potential either. So
Right. Hmm.
sometimes you have to walk away and
Yeah.
hope that in your walking away, and not walk away in anger, not walk away
Right.
in like, I wish bad on you. You walk away and hope that
Hmm.
maybe they'll see it. Maybe it'll be what they need
Yes.
to fix themselves. Cause I mean, you can't
Hmm.
fix them. So
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's true.
sometimes some people are just too damaged for you to deal with. I mean, you're not a therapist, like you're not a
That's right.
psychiatrist. Sometimes you got to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And if they don't fix themselves, not your problem. And I mean, sometimes they
Hmm.
might fix themselves for the next person, and that's okay too.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I have another
That's true.
question, y'all. Y'all doing an awesome job because y'all are getting questions. You hear me? Let's see. The next question is, Why do women keep putting themselves in toxic relationships with
Wow.
men just for physical attraction or just to say they have a man and put their kids on the back burner and don't see that their kids are hurting? But they're so busy trying to fulfill their own needs, they are blind to their children's need. And does this become a cycle in their children's lives as well?
Oh wow. I like to answer that.
Can.
Go ahead on,
Right.
Celena.
Low self-esteem. And I'm only saying that because I can, because I was there. Not to not to the point to where, I will put a man before my child,
Right.
but that wanting to be loved, being rejected from the first man, your father. So when my mom and dad divorced, I was like uh 11. Yeah, 11. So the rejection started there from a man. And so it's now your self-esteem is low self-esteem. That's the only thing that, because if you knew your work, if they know they work, they would put a value and they would raise the bar. And I'm sure you can agree with that, ladies. So somewhere you lowered the bar and you feel like someone else coming in and telling you these things will raise your bar. But Shirley said it so great. You can't fix. You're not a therapist. So when you raise your bar and you know your value, you won't settle for that whatever you feel that you need to get from someone else, and putting their kids um behind because you need that um whatever you feel, and knowing it's all toxic. You talking about a pollution. You need some, what is that car stuff, I think it's STP, where you put that stuff in your carburetor. You need the carburetor field, which is the mind. The engine to the heart is the mind. And so that's to build this. It's low self-esteem. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Is it really low self-esteem with every situation though? Because if you
No.
think about it, when grandma, great grandma, when we
Mm-hmm.
saw them,
You're right.
women back in the day put up with a whole lot more than what we're
Right.
willing to put up with now.
Right.
I don't think they had the option back then to leave the way we do
Mm-hmm.
now.
Oh yeah, now it's
Mm-hmm.
So
disposable.
because of how we
Right.
saw it, maybe
Right.
some of us think that that's the norm. If
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
you grow up and you see your grandfather beating your grandmother, you see your dad
Mm-hmm.
beating your mom, what would you think that's the norm? And I don't think a man loves me unless he beats me. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it could be a case by case situation. Self-esteem
Yeah.
does have a lot to do with it. But if that's all they grew up with and that's all they grew up
I
seeing,
agree.
that could be a reason too.
Yeah.
I agree
I
with
think
that.
it's when you grow up seeing stuff like that, you either gravitate to it or
Yeah. Do the
run
complete
immediately
180. Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from it. And I think for
Yeah.
children, they take it one way or the other. They take it as,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, it's not that bad. My mama
Yeah.
went
Mm-hmm.
through that, or my dad did that. Or you
Yeah.
say,
Mm-hmm.
I saw my mama get beat black and blue. I wish I would
Yeah.
be with somebody that raised their voice to me,
Yeah.
let alone they
Yeah.
hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can be
Really
repeating
like
a
I'm ready to
cycle.
go.
Yeah.
I'm like, look,
Yeah.
Out.
yeah, no, that's not. Mm-mm.
I think we compare a lot too. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
Yes. That's a good
I'll stay
word.
with my man if he calls me out of my name, but my girlfriend over there, her husband beats me, so I'll keep what I
Yeah.
got. We do
right,
that a lot.
Exactly.
right,
That's a good one.
exactly. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of
That is good.
understanding that your standards are never too high. Like,
Right.
Right.
people get into that whole, well, your standards are too high. Like, you think
Mm-hmm.
you all that, you think you gonna get all that? Absolutely.
Amen.
You
Yeah.
Yes, I
absolutely
do.
can. You
Uh-huh. To
absolutely
the fifth
Yeah.
can.
power.
And your
Yeah.
standards are not too
Yeah,
high. You deserve all
that's
those
right.
things that you
Mm-hmm.
want. And
And
guess
more.
what? Until you
Mm-hmm.
find those things,
Keep it
Mm-hmm.
moving.
don't accept anything
Right.
else. And as far as the children go, you have a limited amount of time
Right.
to
Right.
really
Right.
develop those kids into, because they're only
True.
going to be children for so long.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is for them to be successful adults.
Right.
So you have
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that small amount of time
Yeah.
to build with them and give them all of the things they need so that when they are adults, one, your relationship is already set in stone between you and
Mm-hmm.
them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's harder to do with adults. Like,
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they don't need you anymore. So the key is
Right.
being there when they do need you and giving them all the love that they can. As long as they're in your house, like you can still
Mm-hmm.
give and do and
Right.
build. But once they're out
Mm-hmm.
that door, they chuck the deuces up and they might not call you. So
That's
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
you don't
Yeah.
want that. Like,
No,
Right.
as
no.
much
Right.
as my
Right.
oldest bugs me sometimes, like, I mean, that child FaceTimes me in the middle of the night talking about why you sleep, because it's the middle of the night. Why are you calling me? But I wouldn't have it any other
Any
Ain't
way.
No
other
other
way.
way. That's a
right.
blessing.
Any other way.
That is a
Mm-hmm.
blessing.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Call me at
glad you
7 in the
said that.
morning. Call me
Mm-hmm.
at 7 in the morning and say, Mama, why you up?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a
you were
blessing.
trying to wake me up at 7 in the morning, or like, why are you calling? Are you up? This is what she does. She calls and she said, you up with the kids? Cause she's 21 now. She ain't one of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That you up with the kids, they old enough to get themselves up and get ready for school. I know you are not. First of all, a few years ago, you were them, and
Yeah.
you were wanting the same
Not that far
thing.
removed.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Because I mean, during
Mm-hmm.
quarantine, a few months ago, she was in the house and let her
Mm-hmm.
come and down and get something to eat. And I'm not up and she looking at me sideways. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that
good
Should have
though.
story
had her
A
because
tune
lot of
in
us
to this
say
live.
a lot of us as parents, we tell our kids you can come to me for anything,
mm-hmm.
but do ourselves we make ourselves
Available.
available, but are we approachable?
No.
Do we
Ooh,
fly off the wall
that's
every time they
good.
Yes.
come to us for something? You can't fly
That
off the
is,
wall
I'm
every
going to
time we
You
repeat
come
that
to
one.
you with something.
you
you
are on
can't.
Because my
You
it.
daughter has come to me with
cannot.
some stuff that I had to count to 10 before I responded. But
You do.
I'm glad that we have to make them feel comfortable coming to us
Yes.
and letting us, know what's inside. And I
Yes.
was taking a social work class long time ago, and the instructor said something that was very moving because a lot of people stay in marriages because of the kids. But she said, wouldn't kids want to be from a broken home than in
Wow.
a broken home?
Absolutely.
I've
Yeah.
heard that before.
Absolutely.
I've never been married, but I've had friends that when their parents got divorced, those kids were like finally like happy and free because
Mhm.
they were in that house and saw the
Mhm.
whoever hurt who, whether it
Yeah.
was the mom hurting the dad hurting the
Mhm.
mom. They saw the cheating, they knew the scandals, they knew what was going on. And so to stay
Yes.
together, they were miserable. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow, but
Yeah.
from my perspective, it was sad. But I've heard friends say that they were happy, and then things were good for them, for the kids.
Yeah.
When
Because kids
the
know.
parents
They know
divorced.
Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You think you're hiding things from them and it's better. Well, I just want my kids to come from a two-parent household. Well, the kids don't even want to be in the house, okay?
Right.
Because
They
Right.
back
y'all
there plotting how
fighting
they gonna run
Right.
and
away.
right. They don't want to
Right.
be there. They like, what's wrong with these folks? Won't they just leave each other alone
Right.
already?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
oh my
You stand for
goodness.
them and they trying to get you to leave,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
They
Like,
coming
what
back
are you
telling. So
doing?
when you gonna hurry up and leave? I saw Dad
Right?
in front
Why
of this
you
on.
exactly, Mama? Why you still with him? You know he ain't no good. Like now, if
Right.
your children are telling you to leave their daddy, you know
Yeah.
something is wrong.
It's
Okay,
Yeah.
time to go.
it's time.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to respond to what my sister said about being open. My daughter is going to be 40 in 2 more months. And that was one of her things. She said, I can't tell you anything because you look at me sideways, you come at me. And now, she's 40 and I'm trying my best, but it's almost like, I can't come to you. You look all upside my head. And so now what I'm trying to do, because I mean, I broke that one. I'm trying to talk to my grandchildren to build that relationship, because if they're not talking to you, they're going to talk to somebody.
Talking to
Yeah.
somebody.
And prayerfully, you hope that somebody is a good somebody, because
Yes.
there's people out there that will talk to your kids and your grandchildren and give them the wrong
Wrong
way,
advice. Mm-hmm.
wrong advice.
Yes,
And then you wonder why they lean into that. Well, because they at least took
they
heed to
listening.
hear
Yes,
and listen, and they was available
Mm-hmm.
to them,
Mm-hmm.
and so thank you for that. That was a very good point.
yeah.
Yeah, we
I
have to be
always
honest.
we do. I tell
Get
my kids
hurt.
all the time.
Yeah, we have to be honest.
Yeah, I used to tell my kids, like, when they're younger, they go to their friends about it. And I used to be like, look, ask me. Okay, I done been there,
Right.
done that. And I have
Right.
your best interests
Right.
at heart.
Right.
I
Right.
used to tell them all the
Right.
time,
That's
your
right.
friends are just as stupid as you are. Okay. Like
Amen.
they are just as ignorant about life as you are.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
10. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know. They don't know. They gonna pretend like they know
Yeah.
and tell
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
some stuff to make it seem like they're more
Mm-hmm.
experienced than you, so you can
Yeah.
keep coming to them. I'm like, look, they
Yeah.
look stupid selves don't know nothing. Come
Right.
tell me, and we gonna
Right.
figure it out together.
And
I
we're gonna
might not
figure it out.
always agree, and
Right.
that's why I used to tell them, like, know that there are always consequences
Right.
for your actions.
Yes.
So
That's
just
right.
because I'm not saying come and tell me anything and I'm not going to be upset, or you're not going to get in trouble for doing X, Y, and Z, but you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
in less trouble if you
Yeah.
bring it to me
Yeah.
than if
Because I'm gonna be
somebody
honest with you.
else. Exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna try to understand, well, why did you do this? Or what do we need to do to fix it?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, and then I find out some foolishness has been going on,
Right.
then you're gonna really be in trouble. So
Really
you
gonna
just
be in
better
trouble.
off telling
Mm-hmm.
me I should tell my daughter when she was in high school, look, I don't want
That's
you
the
out here
ultimate
drinking,
love
because
language.
you know what these kids, they get vehicles and they start going to
Mm-hmm.
parties and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, I know you
Mm-hmm.
fools gonna be out here drinking and
Yep.
all of this stuff, but let me tell you this. If somebody is drinking and y'all, and like, or you drinking, because you ain't finna be riding with, call me so I can come pick
That's
you
Right.
right.
up. Because I'm
Right.
gonna pick you up, I'm gonna pick your friends up, I'm gonna
That's
take
right.
everybody home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you refuel and hydrate and go to bed. And in the morning,
We're gonna deal with something.
we gonna have a
Mm-hmm.
conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be in the morning.
Now that's
But
love.
I'm gonna make
Yeah.
sure you get home,
Right.
and I'm gonna make
Yes.
sure they get home first. So
Yeah.
call me. Don't be out here trying to figure it out. And the most sober person is gonna drive home.
Hey. Right.
Come call your mama. And now
Right.
she called me every chance she gets. She called me with an Airbnb dilemma last weekend because they rented an Airbnb and wanted to have a party. And then they got there and found out the man, look, I'm telling all her business. I hope she don't see this live. Found out the man had cameras all in the Airbnb and he had a no party rule. And so she calls me with her friends, Mama, we got a dilemma and we want to know what you think.
That's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
I said, he said, well, I said, well, how much is the fine for having a party? She said, well, it's at minimum $500. I said, well, do y'all want to pay $500? Because if you want to pay $500, have the party.
Hey, have the party.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to pay $500, you might need to contact the person and say, hey, I got some friends coming over. How many friends can I have at one time? And then whatever number he throw back, then guess what? That's how big your party can be.
Right.
Not
That's
that
right.
much of a dilemma, huh? You paid it
It's
$500.
really not. I mean, $500 for a party, or talk to the owner and see. And
Right.
so they contacted the owner, and they ended up only staying there for the night and having it somewhere else. So I just, in that moment, I felt good that she called me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
even though I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I trying to help some 21-year-olds throw a drunken party? But it's my child,
That's
and
right.
she gonna do it anyways. I
That's
mean,
right.
Right.
at this point, she in a whole other country. So
Right.
Yeah.
let me help her try to be safe and not
That's
cost
the
me some
key.
money too.
That's the key. Safe.
Yes, safe. Yes,
It speaks volumes that she even called you and asked you.
It does.
So
It does.
that's good. That's
in the
good.
middle of the night, then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
For the final response, and then I woke up in the morning and I saw her text message. So then I called her, and she says, "Mama, you calling me 6 hours later?" I said, "I was asleep." She was like, "But you were up in that moment." And I'm like, and in that moment, I said, "Girl, look, I'm getting old." So I said, "Mama, you're not 40 yet." So I guess 40 is old. And she got another thing coming, because when I do get 40, 40 is still gonna be young. So
That's right.
yeah, but yes, she called. She
That's
calls no
good.
matter what
That's good.
time it is. And I
That's
just answer the phone, half sleep and all that. So you're right. Just make yourself
Absolutely.
available and approachable
That's
for
good.
And
them.
tell the truth. Because my mama told
Yes.
me, now let me tell you this first, I'm the only child. Then she tells me, every time you have sex, you get pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
So my first response was, I said, you mean to tell me daddy only hit that one time? Because it ain't but one of me. So come on. Really? We need to tell them the truth. And
Tell
she
them
said,
the
if you
truth.
have a
Oh my
baby,
God.
that baby gonna be marching on the field at Jackson State with you, because I know you want to be in the band. That baby gonna be marching on the field with you. Mama, really? Really?
Tell the truth.
We can't do that. We need to be honest,
I
regardless
like
of
that.
how uncomfortable it
Yeah.
is.
Tell
Yes.
the
Really,
truth.
every time
Yes.
you have sex, you get pregnant. Really?
Right. And you're the only
No,
child.
I'm the only child. You come on with something else now.
Tell the truth.
Tell the
Tell
truth.
the truth.
Yeah. I have I have two more comments to read, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This was a very good conversation, though. Let's see. Aletha says our children get in our bed and they are grown, and we discuss everything, whether it's good or bad. We have always told them we cannot solve the problem if we don't know what the problem is. One thing I tell them is
Yes.
that God isn't going to ask me about your sins; He's going to ask me about mine. But I'm here
Mm,
to give you the best possible advice, and I still
That's
love
good.
you.
yes.
That is
Yes.
so true and so
Yes,
good.
Yes.
that
Mm-hmm.
was. And then
Hmm.
AJ says, yes, I'm totally an unfiltered, outspoken parent because I don't have time for the shenanigans. I just
Mm-hmm.
have so much going on. I just keep it 100 and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the ultimate love language is to be real, because love is real,
Yeah.
Yes. And
love is
honest.
and honest
Yeah.
and it's pure and it's
But
all of that.
we're so in love with the idea of being in
of
Of
love,
love.
love.
that we get
Yeah.
Yes.
into some
Facade.
situations
Yeah.
and we make it in our mind into something that it's not,
Hmm.
they're not even feeding our love language a little bit, but we in our mind, oh, he did so and so, or he said so and so, just because you want that relationship or you want to be in love. So
Hmm.
that's so unfortunate. We did have another question. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to this one. I think. What advice can you give a young lady or man to build their self-esteem? Did I ask that one? I don't
Mm-mm.
think I did. Okay, so what advice can you give a young lady or man to build their self-esteem?
Focus
Um,
on the things you do like about yourself.
that's good.
Yourself.
You
Yeah.
don't hate everything about yourself.
Right.
That's right. I'm
So
Right.
glad you
yeah,
said
so
that, Shirley.
you gotta
Hmm.
focus on those things that you like. Like you can't focus on the things that you don't like. The
Hmm.
more you
Hmm.
focus on what you do like, I think the more you'll realize you like even more about yourself.
Yeah.
And and then you'll, like, if you're saying, "Ooh, I don't like my weight, but boy, I got my hair, I love it, or my eyes, or I got these beautiful
Hmm.
lips." Like, you focus on those things, then
Yeah.
Hmm.
eventually you'll be like,
Hmm.
okay, well, I can make this
Make them
pop, and
work.
then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can make these work, and then
Hmm.
eventually you
Hmm.
start
Hmm.
turning the things you don't like
That's
into
true.
things you do like.
Yeah.
I
Surround
agree
yourself around
100%.
people who help build you up, because we're in these
Yes.
toxic
Yeah.
relationships. We come
Yes.
from the broken homes. It's these
Hmm.
generational curses that just keep going on because mama was in an abusive relationship, and then she
Hmm.
becomes abusive, and it's just ongoing. So we have
Hmm.
to break that cycle.
Yes.
Find something that we love about us, focus on that, like
Hmm.
Shirley said, and then get around other people who help us be our best self.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. I
Yes.
agree
Yes.
100%.
And be willing to receive that too, though.
Receive it. Right.
Yes.
Because you
Right.
can't, because you got to figure out what you like about yourself and be open to that, because otherwise you'll be the Debbie Downer in the
Yeah.
relationship. And while you
Mm.
got this person trying to tell you
Yeah.
how amazing you are, you're constantly saying, no, I ain't, or
Hmm.
I don't like, nobody wants that.
No.
Like, so then you're going to lose those
Right.
people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're going to stop saying it.
They're gonna get tired.
Right. Yeah.
Ah.
I know I wore my friends out. So look, I know y'all love me because I wore all y'all out.
You
And y'all
didn't.
continue to encourage me.
No,
You
girl.
didn't.
You 100.
All right, y'all. I guess that's oh yeah, AJ commented, learning to love yourself builds confidence.
Yeah.
Hmm. True.
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
True.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Well, we went
Okay.
about 1 hour. We did the giveaways first, so the whole conversations went about an hour. So I think that was good. We got a lot accomplished.
All right.
Well, thank
All
y'all
right.
so much, and we will do this
Thank you for
next
having us
time.
on.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
All
you.
right.
All right.
Bye,
All
ladies.
Look,
right.
rate those
Bye.
love languages.
All right.
Bye.
Have a
Okay.
good
Yes.
morning, Shirley.
Bye.
Yes, Shirley. Look, y'all,
Bye,
keep it
Shirley.
smiling, sunshine.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye
y'all.
bye.